Hello friends! A few years ago, I made a pact with myself that I would take myself into nature regularly to remember who the fuck I am, and this feels like a form of soul maintenance. It's a form of mental wellness for me, and each year I get a little bit more brave with the backpacking that I do. This year I hiked for 5 full days, starting in Slovenia, taking a bus, and ending in Austria, and I wanted to share a little bit of the journey with you and the various musings that come from being confronted by yourself for hours at a time. I'm so grateful to have experienced these moments and to breathe deeply into them again with you. I'm starting my trek this morning and the mountains are just hitting me right in the veins, straight to the soul, and I am feeling so good. I just feel so at home in the mountains. I have a chill trek today to my first hut. The next 2 days are going to be more intense, but I'm just going to take my time today, take it all in. I hiked about 13 miles yesterday, so I'm just a little bit sore. Wow, my heart is so open. I'm just excited for every step of this journey, literally every single step that I take. So imagine me just walking past the fluffiest looking grass I have ever seen and not laying in it. I have to have a moment. This literally looks like fairy floss. That's nice. I began this hiking journey after already having spent almost 2 weeks completely alone, and so by this time I was fully moving from an inner child sense of self, and every single time I arrived at one of these cabins I made new little friends and picked up new stories and messages. And it is so wonderful to be in these spaces connecting with other people who are equally as crunchy as you. That was a really big thing I enjoyed in all of this, was the connection to like-minded people. I'm tucked into my little lining right now, feeling all cozy. This is the setup. It's basically like a hostel. You don't really know who you'll be sleeping next to. You just get to choose your bed. I finished reading one of my books and I just started another one, so that's the vibe I'm on. I'm gonna lay in the sun in a bit, and this was a very wonderful first day. It's 7:20 a.m. and I'm getting ready to start my initial ascent. Spirits are high. It's honestly really cute. Everyone just eats breakfast together and goes on their little routes so early in the day. I'm feeling so excited. The air feels so good out here. It's like the freshest air I have ever inhaled. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like going uphill is always so challenging. You're out of breath, you're like, God damn, I'm pushing myself every step, but you get so high from it. So I love the ascent for that reason. Today's trail has a lot of hitchbacks going down and up and down and up. Look at this little flower that I found. It looks like a Dr. Seuss character. The hair, it's like wearing a little wig. That is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. Wow. I I have just a few years of backpacking experience under my belt, but I've noticed a tendency of mine to sort of rush to my destination while on these trails and have this sense of survival about it, when in reality I have the whole day to arrive, and the whole point of doing this trip is to enjoy the moment and the scenery. And I decided to really force myself to take my time and not feel like I wasn't going to make it, take time to pause and pray and reflect, really let each moment, even if it was a little bit uncomfortable, impress onto me fully. And you wouldn't imagine it, seeing someone in a beautiful place that they're just thinking about where they have to go next. But this habit is deeply ingrained into so many of our minds and ways of coping in the world that when a moment is actually beautiful and sweet, we have a tough time accepting that. This trail was a moment-to-moment quest of presence, and I thoroughly enjoyed all the metaphoric musings. I think I know what it feels like to be in a cloud now, and the answer to that is very moist and wet. I'm also learning that my waterproof clothing is not very waterproof, maybe only up to a certain point, especially my pants. Like, my legs are just wet, which is really interesting. It's never happened to me before. I think I've been hiking for 5 hours now, and I probably have like an hour or two left. Oh my god, the cloud is really coming up. You can't see anything. And I'm passing all these really pretty wildflowers, and it's just exactly what I signed up for. So I'm stoked. Oh my gosh. And I don't know, there's something about not seeing any other humans that feels really nice. I mean, that's the like Vipassana vision quest aspect that I was hoping to get on this trip. It's also really muddy, and I've been using my tripod as a hiking pole, so that's nice. I think it's just going to be a rainy day, which I've never had while hiking. I've never had like a fully rained out experience, so it's nice to try it out and say, okay, that's what this is like. Not my favorite, but also very cleansing. I feel like all day I've just been feeling a little hype. I would love to do some rock climbing in the future, and also a trail that's via ferrata where you have to clip in. Would be so fun. It feels like stimulating to the mind. Absolutely zero part of my body is dry right now. My toes, they're like squelching in my boots. I'm just in a cloud. I just arrived in my little accommodations for the night. This is a big long room with a bunch of beds, and putting on my lining on the ground and changed into my dry pajamas. I cannot believe I made it. I'm just in shock that all of that suffering is over for the day. My knee started to really hurt toward the end. That made a lot of the second half feel just really painful. I have patellar tracking syndrome, so I have to be mindful of that, but I'm so happy I'm here. I didn't really eat lunch, so I'm gonna get some food. The most satisfying shower I've ever had, and I brought this oil with me that I just rubbed over my whole body, and it has arnica in it, which is gonna help my sore little muscles. Oh, I feel so good. I feel ready. Also, it's like completely empty in here because everyone is going downstairs to eat, but I'm pretty full from just having eaten like 2 hours ago. So I'm getting this private luxury experience. These huts are just super booked out. You kind of have to plan it in advance. I'm gonna start planning next year's hikes this summer. Okay, I'm so happy. Don't be shy now. Nice, nice. Cool. After the sunset, the sky slowly shifted into all these different shades of blue, and it was so breathtakingly gorgeous around the hut that even though I was tired and my knee hurt, I couldn't help but explore just a little bit more and watch the sky change. This is my absolute favorite time of day, and I sealed it off with a kiss, got cozy in my little lining, and passed out so deeply. I got to breakfast the next morning and then did some simple stretches to create more space in my body, which was feeling really good and completely renewed. Guten Morgen. It is about 7. Woke up at 6, packed up. Breakfast usually is around 6:30, and I find it so hard to eat this early in the morning, so I packed some almond butter and jam sandwiches for later, snagged a little bit of cereal. I'm so excited to hit the trail this morning. It's sunny. I don't know if it'll last. I'm really just gonna savor the warmth and the spaciousness of not being weighed down by rain. I mean, I'm really appreciating the spaciousness of sunlight. And I'm gonna be taking some deep breaths today because I want to bottle up this air and keep it forever. I feel so dramatic and bittersweet, but I just really don't want to leave. I was saying goodbye to the mountains. Very simple. Introduce yourself every single time you enter a new landscape. Say hello, introduce yourself, introduce your intention, and then I also like to say goodbye and close it out in the same way. It feels like a really nice energy exchange. My shoes were so soaking wet. They did not dry. Thank God I got these bad boys from Decathlon. I'll be hiking with them today. I may or may not have listened to every single Adrian Lenker song on repeat and bawled my eyes out during this descent as I was reflecting on my entire life casually and feeling so much compassion for every single human that I've crossed paths with, even if there were grievances or friction. The fact that we are all learning to navigate constant change and little forms of heartbreak was having me really emotional, and I just kept praying to humanity that we survive this little medicine journey that we're on side by side, holding so many different contradictions at once. And I was praying that we all be gifted the time it takes to become the versions of ourselves that we believe in. This is my actual home, by the way, is the meadow, in case you were wondering. And I love how these purple flowers are just creating this like mist on the very top of this entire field. It's just so gorgeous, and this gives me so much life. I am so happy. I feel like I was definitely a horse in a past life because I see these fields and think, wow, I would just love to gallop through that. I think it's starting to rain. Wow, I am just so grateful. My heart is so full right now. And suddenly it all makes sense. This was the whole point for me, to be a horse in this meadow. All my friends know to bury me in a meadow. It's where my soul grows. It's where I feel home. You do all this movement and you make all this effort to be outside, And then you let yourself arrive and you get to a point where you're just ready to receive, to listen, like a little child hearing an elder tell a story. It's like all this commotion, all this effort and energy just to sit and listen. I feel like a little humble creature of this earth that wants to learn a secret or two. What do you have to tell me, mountains? I think I would actually be going crazy if I wasn't filming a video. This is kind of like my anchor into reality. I could not make this up, how alive this meadow made me feel. Even though I had quite a few miles ahead of me, I spent about 3 hours here just basking and ate my lunch. I felt so aware of how alone I was and how much permission that gave me to let go of judgment. When I was in the cabins and any person I encountered on the trail, I was so aware of the fact that I would probably never see them again. And so I wasn't acutely watching myself and cringing at myself. I was just being goofy and open-hearted and corny. And I started relating that to all of life. We are just passing through this earth and we might not see these people in the next lifetime. So why take it so seriously to the point where we inhibit our expression and our joy and our genuine feelings? Some people won't understand how you feel. Some people will think you're strange. But as long as you're being deeply honest with your experience, which is the most productive thing you can do, then it doesn't really matter. And that has just been echoing out in my life because I definitely have moments of peak self-judgment and cringing at myself for all of my videos and who I am. And that's been a continual anchor back to myself. Like, I am just passing through this life and it's my duty to savor, honor, and cherish these gifts. So that is what I will leave you with. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching my videos. I really deeply feel you with me on this journey. See you next time.